Enemy the belts on my waist, kicking up dust in python stallions. Sharpest cowboy about the place, a place.
All right, folks, here we are at the Haven again. One more time. I say that because I made 4 videos for Sunlu on this particular item here. I've probably watched 10. Um, Before I made something always went wrong. Microphone didn't work one time, so I'm just letting the camera take care of that this time. Uh, Twice I just made mistakes. But anyways, what I'm trying to get, if you've been printing for any time, you've used one of these or one of these to reconnect filament, broken filament, connect different colors, whatever. These things, do they work? Absolutely. This one, within a half an hour, we'll get 2 pieces back together. This might take you 3 days, depends on how patient you are. But this little bad boy from the Sunlu, I am an affiliate of Sunlu, or they're affiliated me, however that works. But I do not believe we get any discounts on this right now. I checked out my thing. There's this and one other product that even as an affiliate, at least on my account, uh, we're not getting any discounts on this. I was a pre-order. I was in the second to the last batch to get this bad boy. So I've only had this for maybe a month, and I've only used it for the videos. I haven't taken the time to redo any of the films that I need to yet. But like I said, I've watched a few videos. When I bought the pre-order, so it's now $55, it appears. Uh, this is 40. I mean, it's electric and whatnot, but you literally have to screw this thing down while you're trying to get the filament to stay in. Yeah, this thing is not easy. And granted, the filament is kind of being held together, but let's get to the point here. This little thing is miraculous in comparison. Again, I paid pre-order prices and I'm happy. You should have got in on the pre-order. Is it worth $55? And it'll save you a lot of headaches. Depends, I guess, are you the type of person that can just throw filament away? Or whatever. But anyways, as I straighten out a couple pieces of filament, again, I've used lots of filament connectors. I own a few. I've sent a few back. It's like printers. I haven't kept them all. If I pay money for it, I expect certain things, just like I expect my customers to do the same, Don't expect no junk from the Haven. So anyways, what you're going to really want to do, and actually took the time to cut a little filament this time around, but basically you want to get the filament as straight as you can because you kind of depend on it to sit in this. You don't kind of depend on it, you do depend on it to sit in this valley on this machine here. And again, I cut all of these off of the ends of spools, so they're all very tight. If you're actually working with the filament that you're using to do this, you probably won't have to mess with it this long. But yeah, it's just curling back up because, well, it's junk filament. But I still think it's good enough to prove the point here. What I have in my hand is, one is a tricolor PLA and the other is just regular PLA. Gray, and like I said, tricolor, or at least bicolor. I thought it was tricolor. It is tricolor. But anyways, let's get this ball on there. All right, what you're going to want to do is cut this with a nice sharp angle. I didn't like that one. Don't worry, I sweep a lot. All right. No, I'm not even happy with that one, but it'll be enough. And of course we do the same thing, and I'm going to cut a little extra off of this one because it was a little brittle right there, but again, shooting for the nice angle cut. Then, there it is. As you get it in that tube, you want these two cuts to go just like that. So you get your one in there, you get your other one in there. And you make sure they're lined up nice. And then you just push them in together. Get them kind of snug with each other. And then you turn this little bad boy on. It's all touch screen. It's a little pain in the neck. I forget this. Okay, we're at PA we need. Okay, so then you gotta first come over here, get that blinking. Now we can change our material. We're on PLA, so then we're good. And now it's heating. Well, it does that. I'm gonna work this filament to sit nicer. I'm just taking the kinks out of it, so that sits in that nice groove, nice and good. And I'm gonna let this bad boy. It's only at 79 degrees, 81. And I've done this 3 times, 4 times now maybe. You stick it in there before it's hot. The beeping will confuse you. It gets a little crazy because it beeps when it's hot. And it seems to me that every time I've done it, okay, while that heats it back, what we'll do, I also have some silk, PLA, and some Pro PLA. All I'm sure stay on the same PLA setting. It goes to like 210, I think. I left this one, it starts out at the 200. I left it at the 200 because it's just regular old PLA in this one. Got that nice overlap on both pieces. The first one I thought was a little weaker, but it turned out it was all right. I kind of made my cut on this one, sorry folks, but I'll make a better one because I don't really like it that much. Again, sharp cuts, nice sharp angles, as sharp as you can get it, as long and sharp as you can get it, I should be saying. You want these two filaments to run side by side, parallel with each other, as much as possible in that tube. Like that. That's a pretty nice one, probably. It's at 140 right now, so. It's like the printer, let it heat up. And again, you can be working your film while all this is happening. If you're using the end of some rolls, they're very, very tight, like these ones. This is what I'm supposed to be doing, is whipping myself up some cool multi-colored filaments, but I'm not. I got too much other stuff to do. But I seen Sunlu jacked up the prices pretty good on this, so I knew it was going to go up after the you didn't get it at the pre-sale. I knew you were going to pay more. I just wasn't thinking. I suppose it's only $20, but the only negative side I really see to this thing is that, if you want to call it a negative, it really does feel like a tinker toy. There's like no weight to it. It feels like it might be junk, but it don't work like it's junk. Don't worry, I'll get yelled at by someone if I say anything I'm not supposed to, but I've not been yelled at by anybody yet. Like I said, it just feels like it's not made well. That doesn't mean. I mean, if they're asking you for that kind of money for this thing. Yeah, that filament's kind of junk. Obviously this heating element is kind of the key, and I would probably say that's the truth because this one has a heating element in it. It sucks. You gotta, it recommended like 20 minutes. It sits there for some stuff, and again, you have to tear it apart and take this little. I think it was a capacitor. It could have been a resistor. I can't remember. But I'm pretty sure it was a capacitor. Either way, I had to take it out of there in order for it to do anything past PLA. Again, we're setting up good. See, we're not even wasting a lot of time because, again, to me, if you're going to do this, you're probably sitting down to do a bunch of filament. You're not trying to fix a piece on the fly. But if you needed to, another reason I'm doing it right here in this little area, not because I didn't want to clean off my workbench. Yeah, because I didn't want to clean off my workbench. We're over here. But it also does show the fact, because I heard a couple people say that they're not sure that you could just do this on the fly. Well, here it is, right on my printer, and I couldn't set it here. I mean, honestly, do you need to be this close? If I did, I'd have to scoot my printer back, but I could even set it there. On these, it does appear that Sunlu is out of stock for just buying these, but PFE tubes. So just the tubes themselves, it looks like they're currently out of stock, but I would expect them to be back in stock and available. And right now for the $55 or for, I don't remember, I'd have to look again, but they do sell it with up to 3. It comes, everyone comes with one package of 100. So that's 100 pieces of filament you can join. Okay, we're up to the 194 mark. We're going to go with the regular PLA first. Remember, I hope maybe you can see that, but it's kind of overlapped. $95, $96. It'll beep here in a second. It does heat slowly. And I got it plugged into a good jack. That was the other problem I did notice. Like, it doesn't come with its own power supply. So you have to pick your own. I mean, all of us have bricks laying around the house, I'm sure of that. But you can't just use a cheap one. It's got to put out a good 4 amps, I'd say. When we're all done here, if I remember, I'll pull mine out of the wall and show you what I'm using. It's got a lot of them, including C plugs on it. But it's got like the super USB 3, whatever. It can push out about 10 amps, I think. Okay, it looks like it's fluctuating between 97 and 98 degrees and blinking. So I'm thinking it might be telling me it's ready. So then again, now, this is also vitally important. You need that to be right in the center of this little, push it on there. And if you can get this thing to, all right, it beeped that quick. Let it sit there. Let it sit there for a few minutes. It's very hot. Moving it at all right now could just as easily tear it, pull it, stretch it. And if you stretch that in there, obviously it's not going to help much. It'll cool pretty quick, just like that. But you do want it to cool. And if it looks kind of crazy, this one actually looks pretty good. We're not going to touch it. We're going to let it sit there for all right, and it does keep itself warm. It's a plus. Just set this over here for a minute. Now let's try the PLA Pro, but what we're gonna do, bring it over here to the, no, my bad. There we go. You hit that twice to get to the temp. And it is Pro, so we're gonna bring it up to the full 210 that it can go for PLA. Oh, I lied, it's 205. All right, and we are set to go. Okay. Oh, let's stay blinking until it gets up to 10. There it goes. All right. And it's going to do the same thing, right? A couple degrees underneath. It's fluctuating. I notice it'll jump to 203 here. Yep, there it went. All right. Now, okay, so it's ready. Now, something's not sitting real nice, so you got to kind of be the boss. I might have missed the center on there. When it comes out, we'll find out. Yeah, I missed the center, so what we're going to do, slide it over just a bit. Let it cool just a second here. But it's nice and connected right now, that's a promise. So we'll get it back in there, just where we want it. And now, we'll let that sit there for a minute. We want that to cool down some. And you can see it from here. I'm sure the camera cannot, but I can definitely tell where the filament inside that other tube, inside the PTFE tube, has been melted. You can clearly see a difference. All right, so that's 2 on PLA. Let's try our first one, eh? All right, right now, I'm almost positive I'm going to be able to slide this piece right off the end of here. If you need a razor blade, if you can't get it off either end, then you need to use a razor blade. I think it was this one actually came with a tool. It's kind of junk though. It's a lot like a cucumber scraper if you've ever seen one. But anyways, here's where we're at. Won't pull apart right here in the thing. And there's where we're at. Now, if that ain't a nice bond, folks, and the one thing you always got to watch for is that tolerance right there. I got a little, does kind of catch right there. So you want to make sure you just kind of rub that down a little bit with a piece of sandpaper maybe. Be gentle. Be gentle. But point made. It even bends pretty good right there. I mean, yeah. So that was one. While we're at it, maybe, because PETG, it's going to have to get hotter. So let's go ahead. PETG. All right. And let's try our other one now. Didn't cool for as long. Did not cool for as long. Feels pretty good. And again, that thing slides right off of there. As long as you can get it off of one end or the other, you should be able to almost all the time get it off of one end or the other. Even if you got to put it to the, like, if you got some left on another spool, I don't know, I'm going to probably have a contraption soon that'll just stop these things along there, because as you see, I pulled it right off. Oh, and by the way, oh, and these can be, I'm going to reuse this one for you on one of these. Watch that. See? The other thing, do you need it? You got 100 of them. If you get 1.5 chances out of each one, that's 150. How much filament are you joining? It's good. It's good. All right. So we're probably ready for some PETG. I got a couple different kinds over here. Like I said, I tried to prepare for this. I even brought some ASA, which we're going to do with ABS if there's not an ASA setting. I cannot remember. Anyways, back to straightening up some filament because, well, again, I used the bottom of all of a few rolls to cut some strips off of because I'm just throwing it away when this is over. And this video is probably much longer than it needs to be, but I want you to see this thing works fantastic. And I thought it might have gotten kind of a bum deal. Again, is it worth $55? I think, yeah, maybe. Maybe. It's already in the 4 videos I've made, I've combined as much filament as I ever have with this thing. I'll tell you that. I think I maybe 10 pieces with this. That thing. If you didn't burn your fingers, the filament fell back apart. It was just pure misery. There you go. Nice angle cut. I'm actually going to just snip a piece off of here too because we don't need a lot. We'll just join it. And the less we have, the harder. From my opinion, the biggest problem you're going to have is controlling the other ends of your filaments. Like, if it's curving real hard on you to get it straight in there is difficult. But not impossible. You saw how I did it. I held it on both sides and then I used my fingers to flip the lid down. Whatever it takes, man. Call your baby girl in there. Whatever you gotta do. I actually cut that one on an angle right off the bat, so I'm not going to show you that again. Cut it at an angle, folks. Reusable. About halfway in there. Make sure you can see your angle. Line up your angles before you even put it in there. You know, you want to kind of head it the right way. Oh, we missed. So you spin it around. All right. No, that's not even the best fit. Let's see what we get though. Because again, this thing is by far the best thing I've seen on the hobbyist market. Industrial people, they got different stuff, man. And I don't know what they got for filament joiners in industrial shops. If you're joining filament in an industrial shop, you're doing something wrong. If you're counting waste in fast food, you're doing something wrong, you know? Okay, I'm just going to let it set to the side here. So I have another PETG. This stuff, had it since I first started printing. This stuff is wildly hard to print. It's my favorite purple color that I've ever gotten. Again, I've had it for, well, these 2 pieces are probably a little over 2 years old at this point. But when it comes off of the shelves, it goes in plastic bags, by the way, folks. But if I'm using it up here on a regular basis, there's no reason. I got 2 shelves of filament that sits out because it's being used. Unfortunately, I only have the one color of this because I've never, like I said, this stuff just didn't print good. Peeled off the board worse than ASA, for goodness sakes. I didn't have anything significant to actually print worth keeping, so I didn't test for like high impact or any of that stuff. But It's weird because it almost has the ABS feel to it. Like it's not spongy, but ABS has got a softness, if you know what I'm talking about. We're going to just do it like this too here, folks, because I'm using this one piece because why not? And I didn't save 2 of those, so I'll pull out another one. And again, well, they're currently out of stock in just these. They have 700 of these things, so I mean, I would get on them, to be honest. I would. If you're going to 3D print much, I would definitely want this thing around. And like I said, I'm telling you this, and I've barely touched it. I touched it to make the videos. That was it. I'm just getting into this video making stuff, by the way, folks. I never intended to teach anybody anything, but I guess it is good advertising, or a good way to advertise. All right. I don't think I have my angles right in there. I couldn't tell very good. Either way, it's in there. So we'll get her clamped in over here. All right, see, you got to hold it with 2, but I got it in the middle, and the outside edges are going to stay down in there. But anyways, here we are. I'm certain of it. And again, slides off the end to be reused. That one's going to get did again right there. But there you are, folks. Now you see me. Three attempts. 3. I did a couple of them twice on purpose because you should be able to see if you didn't melt the joint itself. And obviously it's not going to work, guys. Come on. What I have not tried is TPU, so we're going to give that a try, folks. We're going to give TPU a try. Is it possible to... Oh, I moved it around a lot, but that's the other thing. This thing does serve a lot like a cast. It'll hold things together. But should we? We should. Let's try some TPU. There's not a setting, number one. Well, my suspicion is it can't be melted and then it's not recyclable. That's my suspicion. But maybe I'm all wrong. There's a piece of yellow TPU. Piece of blue TPU. This stuff's lots newer. I've been using TPU a lot lately. Alright, I would say, yeah. And again, this stuff was really tough to print, so there it is. I mean, you can't expect it to stay in. It's still in there, but yeah, plenty good right there. So I do have this ASA, folks. ASA is some tough stuff. So ABS only goes to 240. So it looks like 240 is the best we're going to get. So I'll tell you right now, this stuff, ASA, PA, I'm not sure. I should know what they mean by PA, but I probably don't use it much. or it's just brain fart for a minute. All I got on the brain today is polymaker and learning everything I need to know about polymaker. Because I'm all for USA company, duh. But listen. If it's twice as much, it's got to be twice as good. Okay, we're going at our angle, or at it for our angles. Reusing them again. Well, let's see. Looks like from here it's got to heat up further, so it might sit under there a while this time. It's not heating up or nothing. Oh, wait a minute, 221. This could take a while, but if it does that from 220 to 240 at a nice slow pace, that'll get you all of your 260. Well, it won't. What it'll do is I don't know. I can't explain physics to people. But it'll melt it at a nice slow temperature, and it'll stay melted long enough that it won't scorch anything yet. After the TPU, folks, we're going to be done, because once I prove that it's going to do this ASA, in my last video it did successfully do the carbon fiber I have. I suppose I could cut a chunk quick. To show that it does still do that too. Alright. And again, this video is probably way too long, and I don't do this for anybody. I mean, my hasty motor bike. Hasty Motor was the first company that asked me to make any kind of videos, and I had worse clued in than I do now, and I still suck. But yeah, I made some really nice videos. Nobody else is going to do what I did for them. But yeah, this is how this might work out just fine. I'm not sure I had my cuts real good on there. I was kind of rushing it. And that is vitally important, folks, making sure you have that cut. That nice beveled cut on there. Otherwise, again, if they're two butts like this, if they're butted together like this, and you melt them, you're hoping that it just kind of flows together. There's nothing. But if you got them overlapped a little bit, and then you melt them, now they're melted together. That is a long heating process right there. Half an hour video for the Sunlu filament repair. A little bit out for you guys, whatever. All right, it's almost there. It just heated up, or just decided, there it goes. This is some tough stuff, this ASA right here. I printed at 263. So now, oh, I don't like that. I wish that stayed up good. Put a spring link in that thing. All right, automatic, get the carbon fiber ready. Because we need all of that heat for that too. And again, You're lining up them bevels before you even go in the hole. Bam. No daylight in there. And you press them together till they even make a little bulge in there. That one's probably cool enough. Ooh, barely. You do gotta be careful when you pull them off, folks. They are floppy, and obviously for good reason. And again, with this bulb like this, it's hard to get it to sink into them back corners. Because the groove you need it ends about this wide in the center, but the grooves themselves go past that. And the whole filament needs to be laying down in there, or the door won't shut properly. And now you've watched me use 4 of these things, and I've connected 5 things already, right? Or 3 things I've used, connected 4 things, something like that there. What I'm getting at is these you don't have to worry about. I could have put this one, we have a carbon fiber I could have put it to, but it all stopped at 240 anyway. I thought it went to 250. Okay, see, that one I already know missed, so I slid it over a little bit, one more time. Again, you're not doing all that with this stuff here. This thing here, you'd be cranking it down in there, and you get it down in there and whatnot, and then when you went to put the pressure on, the one piece would kink. Stupid stuff would just keep happening. It never wanted to make a good bond to any of it. It was terrible. This thing you actually use an open flame with. Yeah, never mind. Again, if you got the $55, you want to save yourself some headaches, you head on over to Sunlu, and it won't hurt to stop on over there from thehoodbillyhaven.com. Any link to Sunlu from my website gets you a discount. All right, let's check on this ASA, eh? Whoa. All right, so here it is. Feels pretty sturdy, and that is ASA, folks. I will bring it down in a minute, but yeah. Well, I mean, let's double check something here. That's what I mean by flimsy and stuff. To touch the buttons. Yeah. Just so that you understand, this is really ASA filament. So I guess they could have made it go up to maybe 250, but then again, it probably wouldn't. I'm going to shut her off, by the way, because I am done melting filaments together. I think I've shown the world it works. Oh shoot! I wanted to try something. I'm not done. Look at that. See right there. Cool. I want to try. My suspicion is it's either not going to come out of this tube or it's just not going to reconnect. But yeah, that's going to be half the problem. Not going to be able to get it to clamp. Let's try it, drill, right? This could be the trick right here. If it ends up holding TPU, guys, I will be really shocked. Again, I just pulled this one off, set it right back down. There's no reason you can't reuse it. Well, I guess maybe a third time would have gave it just a little more strength, but it's something I haven't tried. If you were to grip real close to the edges here where it was hot, push it together and smack it back down again, that's going to push them cold or warm filaments together. The clamp itself makes it the size that it's supposed to be. So after we see about TPU, I'll let you guys get on with your day because I really didn't expect to spend an hour on this machine here, but I guess they tell me it's not as easy as it looks to teach the world anything. At some point, I might get into some instructions on this guy. I haven't figured out exactly what I want to do yet, what I'm gonna do. I could just buy an already prepped motherboard and start over, but I don't know. Decisions, folks. I have 5 completely perfectly good running printers, so I'm not stressing on nothing. Pick up while we finish shooting here. That PA, she does take a long time. Okay, we're almost there. I think this one for sure will need 2, but we'll find out in a second here. I'm going to try that pushing together thing once, see what happens. Yeah, see it's. No, power her off. Trying to rush that cooling, but that ain't gonna work. I suspect this stuff has to be very, very cool before I can touch it because it's, well, TPU. It's elasticy. Elastic and heat don't get along that well. So yeah, on the negatives. Didn't come with any kind of powered brick. Comes with a cord but no brick. Then it feels like feels like a tinker toy. I don't think this was even necessary, just show maybe. But what it feels like and how it performs are 2 different things, folks. I did say I would show you all this. Yeah, see, I have USB pushing 5 amps. Type C wanted to push 15 or something like that, but what I was getting at there is this thing needs juice. It's a heating element, so if you're working on 3 amps and it's not working, that's why. Alright. And I keep this little guy in the box, so again, $55. Are you going to 3D print? Then yes. If you're going to use your 3D printer once every 6 years, If you're gonna use your printer more than or less than once a month, or less than once a week, something like that, once a week, yeah. If you're gonna use it less than once a week, then I don't know about it, because you're not gonna use filament like that, so. Anyways, let's see what it did for the TP2 head. Comes off. Well, I would say, yes, it will. So, with that, folks, from the Haven to you, today about Sunlu. Their filament connector is pretty good. Stop on in at hoodbillyhaven.com and use our affiliate links to get as many discounts as you can. Sunlu also will give you excellent discounts on 3 or more rolls of filament at a time. From the Haven to you. Stay blessed.
Tanner be the belt on my waist, kicking up dust in python stallions. Sharpest cowboy about the place.